Sorry I couldn't be here earlier, and I'm also glad that basically most of the media is gone so we can have real talk. I'd like to thank the Congressmen for being here, but I think the notion of political parties doesn't mean much when this particular notion of closing schools has bipartisan support. And I think it's extremely unfortunate that our own Democratic mayor is making this decision. And we all know that it's ultimately his because he has control of the school in a very undemocratic process. I would like to be able to not cry about this. But when I'm listening to the names of the schools, Henson, Garvey, Morgan, Banneker, Bonton, these are names that have meaning to us. And they're about to be wiped off the map. And the reasons keep changing. We start with utilization, and then when you show them that utilization isn't true, then they change the reasons again. And then they say, oh, underperforming. And then you show them, well, we're performing better than the other school. The sands beneath our feet keep shifting. So it comes back to a couple of questions. Who are the winners and losers in this battle? But more importantly, who made the rules to this game? And even more devastating for us, what are the stories the winners keep telling the losers so they'll keep playing the game? And the stories we've been hearing is, we're going to give you a quality education. You're going to be safe. You're going to be this, you're going to be that. We hear it over and over and over again. This policy has been on the books for 10 solid years, and it hasn't helped. So now we're just going to ramp it up. 54 schools? This is a competition between other people. It has nothing to do with our children. It has nothing to do with a high-quality education. This is an ego. How many schools did you close? I got this. What you got? This is a fight between Bloomberg and the mayor of Kansas City. Kansas City, they closed 50% of their schools. This is not policy. And the people that have to carry it out, you are on the wrong side of history. I'm sorry, you are. You're on the wrong side of history, and you will be judged. Not by me. We've heard people say, well, we have to make the hard decisions. It's not a hard decision to close schools in black and brown neighborhoods and in a couple of token places on the north side. That's not the hard decision. The hard decision is to say that we need to ask the commercial club and all of those people to pay their fair share. The hard decision is to tell the Chicago Board of Trade, why don't you give a quarter of every trade and put it, because guess what, they're not closing schools this deep in New York. They don't have a budget problem in New York because they have Wall Street paying their fair share. We don't have that here. You cannot balance your books on the backs of poor children. And change the conversation every time somebody points out that you're doing something wrong. We know that in Springfield, there's a moratorium bill. We also know that the mayor has said I don't care what you guys do not let an elected representative school board happen for Chicago. We know that. And those of us that believe in democracy and believe in the way things should work, I sat here and listened to a third grader use the word empathy. And if nobody heard that, I was good until then, and then I started crying. And I'll be honest with you, I hate these hearings. I hate to hear people beg for their schools. You shouldn't have to beg for a school in your neighborhood. People talk about choice. Why can't one of the choices be to have a great school where your children can walk to in your neighborhood? Why can't that be a choice? This is wrong. It's morally wrong. And if this is allowed to happen, it will not break the spirit of people who care about publicly funded public education, but it will make it harder for every single politician, union person, whatever. It'll make it all harder for us to hold our heads up. And I don't understand, if we can't come together about the education of Black children, we are doomed. If we can't come together over the education of brown children, we are doomed. If we can't come together over the education of Black, brown, and white children, and red and yellow, whatever color is in your school, we can't come together, then we are really doomed. And if we can't have honest conversations about poverty, and the fact that poor people don't matter, because when we disinvest in our communities, there's going to be people out of your district, The mayor's already said he wanted to have 25 wards instead of 50. Where do you think they're going to be? Let's all do the math. We've already heard, they always tell us what they're going to do. Spokesperson for CPS, an effective teacher can teach 40 children. So we know what direction this is going in. So this year it's underutilization. Next year it's going to be overcrowding, but they're going to say there's nothing we can do. We don't have any money. It doesn't matter that 8 out of the last 10 years, where every single time CPS has come out with their press release budget deficit, 8 out of the last 10 years, they have a surplus. There's a problem. There are a lot of people that can actually work together to solve it, but we're not working together to hang ourselves. We're not working together to make children who can use the word empathy in a sentence understand what it means, practice it. Why does a child, a third grader, talk about empathy, and the people who are running our schools don't have it? So I want to thank you for this opportunity. I think it's important that you were here and you held this forum. But I also think that everyone needs to be held accountable. Accountability can't go in one direction. So we've had food deserts. Now we're going to have school deserts. A purposeful disinvestment in the community by any other name is still the same. And I think that since you brought up politics, we can no longer look to someone to save us. We'll have to do it ourselves. And I thought we need to register 100,000. I think we need to register 200,000. is I think a lot of people don't realize what's going on, and a lot of people don't care, but I think a lot of people do. And I think there's a way out of this, but we have to roll up our sleeves and do the hard work. And the answer is not closing 54 schools. And certainly not. After you hear this testimony, I know at some point in your hearts, you have to take this back and say, maybe there's something we did wrong. But I would hope that you all could at least say, all right, we made some mistakes. Let's rectify them. Let's not exacerbate the problems. So, if I have any hope, my hope is that people can look in the mirror and admit when they're wrong and ask for forgiveness. There's always time for redemption. There's always time. But not if you do the wrong thing willfully, horribly, and painfully. I would ask that you look in your hearts. For those of you that will defend your schools, we are behind you 100%. For those of you, but I don't want to say Morgan and throw everybody else under the bus. It's save them all. It's not just save Morgan, but I feel you. But it's save Hanson.